Welcome, everybody. We've got Greg here, and we've got a great topic that is very pertinent to your business. I think, Greg, at every stage, wouldn't you say? Like this,
Yeah.
this will never go out of style, regardless of AI.
I don't think so. How you can drive a marketing budget, what you can do with that marketing budget. I don't think AI is never going to replace us. They're going to make our jobs easier so we can do more business, but they're
Yes,
never going to replace us. Too much of a human touch.
I agree with you, man. So, where do we start when it comes to finding the marketing dollars to be able to get to where we want to get to? We've got the database, of course, right, which is untapped, but there's a lot more to it.
There is. I mean, our marketing budget or your marketing budget, it's hiding in plain sight. There's obviously your database, but there's also the opportunity to earn additional income or additional revenue from other revenue streams. I mean, if I were to kind of back into this a little bit, Tristan, I'd probably start with what you can do with the money. So if you have $10,000 that you're looking to invest into marketing, well, what can you do with it? If I look at it and say, if your lead acquisition cost is $100 per lead, whether or not that you're buying leads or it's social media, like everything has a cost associated with it. But at $10,000, $100 a lead, you can buy 100 leads. And with those 100 leads, all right, well, everyone on the call, we're great salespeople. We should be able to convert over the course of time 5% of those, 5 transactions. And with those 5 transactions, if your average price point's $500,000, it's $2.5 million worth of real estate business, you're never going to earn less than 2%. That's going to be about $50,000 into your core real estate business.
How much?
About 50,000 right into the core business. And that's only using 2%, Tristan. 2.5% on average for earning, that's 62.5.
And that's a year?
That's just based on that $10,000 advertising budget. So it's different for everybody. You could do that a year. Some people may be able to carve out that type of a marketing budget in 6 months or 3 months. It really depends on the individual agent or team.
All right. So let's go through this, because I think just the knowledge of having this option allows us to have better conversations. Because one of the things that when we were looking through and calling our database, so we have, Greg, in our database, 130,000 people in our database.
Wow.
But I've been in business for a while, right? So when we're reaching out to them and they tell me things like, oh, I'm thinking of refinancing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm thinking of pulling out an equity line. At that point, I just quarterback it to our lender. You're telling me that I now have an opportunity to send it to you and make some revenue off of there, all legal, obviously, and then use some of those funds to buy a brand new car. I'm joking, to reinvest it into real estate so I can make more money. Is that what you're telling me?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Tristan, is we're already referring this business out, whether it's from new customers that are coming in or it's working your existing database. Right now, we've been conditioned in this industry from a real estate agent standpoint as, we got to work with the lender, right? Send it to the lender. Now, for us, we'd be able to provide an opportunity without formal 20-hour classes and having to pass the test on the mortgage side from a licensing standpoint, where we could bond people directly at the bank and you're able to originate mortgages, partnered with a banker who's going to handle 99% of the work.
And what does 1% of the work look like, just so I know?
So 1% of the work is making the referral, completing some compliance steps on your phone, all point of click on your phone, and electronically signing documents. That's it.
Oh, that isn't that bad. And what's the percentage that we get typically from this?
You earn about 0.5% per transaction.
That's pretty good, man. And the average agent's doing what, about 6, right?
Yeah, average is doing about 6. Gosh, we just had an agent out in California
Uh-huh.
closed $3.8 million in business last
Yeah,
month.
but dude, the houses here cost like 10 million for a
That's
start.
that's true. It was on 3 transactions, and it's really a crazy market you got out there, Tristan.
Yeah, I know, man. And it's not going down. That's the crazy thing. So yeah, that's why I was thinking. Um, I was thinking of putting somebody. That's why I connected you with Mark Rader on the team. I was like, I think he can be our guy to who can handle that for us for the team.
Right.
That could work really well. All right, talk to me about how a brokerage would run with this. How would that look like?
Yeah. So with certain brokerages that have a big team of real estate agents, a lot of
Yeah.
times what we'll look to do is put some sort of marketing agreement in place for the brokerage. So
Hmm.
the brokerage can income share with the whole package and the transactions that are closing from their agents.
Okay, got it. That's easy. All right, let's go back to the database because I think this is where it starts. And you're going to have to give me the language because I think we're already calling people. We already get inquiries. We do circle prospecting. We do everything, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes even when we're meeting people at open houses or people bring up real estate, I feel like I'm missing half of the opportunities because a lot of people are thinking now of refinancing, like I said earlier, or taking out an equity line.
Yep.
And what type of verbiage do I need to use? What does this conversation look like so that I stay within the legal boundaries?
No,
Anything I need to know?
no, that's a great question, Tristan. So the conversation that we've seen have a lot of success is when you're touching base with the customer already, just finding out what their additional needs are, as an example. So, hey, Joe and Sally, how's everything going? How do you like the house? Are you looking to buy or sell? Do you know anyone looking to buy or sell? Hey, have you refinanced your mortgage yet? Because interest rates have dropped. You may be able to save several hundred per month. No? Okay, let me
Mm,
introduce you to Greg. And the senior banker that you're working with, myself in this example, I mean, we're going to do all the vetting as to how do they qualify? Is it the right transaction for the consumer? You know, what break even numbers look like? You save
mhm,
300, here's the cost, here's the break even. The
okay.
one great thing about the refinance market, Tristan, is it's transactional in a good way. So it doesn't have all these moving parts that a purchase does with inspection issues, and the title issue. You got
Interesting.
all those different things that can come up. Refinance doesn't work that way. So in a refinance is as simple as, hey, here's how much the loan's saving you every month. Here's your cost to do it. Here's your break even. Lock the interest rate, close in 30 to 45 days. So it's a much more seamless process than purchases just because you don't have it as many variables.
Would you say that with this opportunity and looking through our database, would you want us to focus on, or what have you seen works? Agents have focused just on refis, equity lines, or agents have focused on purchases, both? What have you seen works best, or is there not a way?
It's that health check that we're going to make to the customer anyway. And whatever the organic way that leads us is the right way to do it. So when you're checking in with the customer, we're just going to have the conversations that we have, trying to understand what's going on with them and what their needs are. And then just mentioning, hey, do you have the need to refinance? Do you need a home equity line to try to consolidate some high interest credit card debt or to do an addition to the property? And just kind of
Mm.
incorporating that in the overall conversation.
You know what? I'm gonna just pull this up because it goes perfectly with this. Give me a second. I've got a document that we use internally for the team and for some of the coaching clients when we're reaching out to reasons. There it is. When we're reaching out to our database, our core past clients, our core sphere, the people that know us and like to talk to us or know us by name, I'm going to share this doc so we can go through it together because I think these are the reasons. When we're, can you see my screen? Not yet. Let me.
I
Yeah,
can
there.
see it. Yep, we can
Perfect.
see it.
I'm going to zoom in a little bit. All right. So top 9 reasons to reach out to your clients at database, right? Our core people. The one on the top is the one I call the winner because maybe the last like 2.5 years, 3 years or so, when I tested this out live, it worked so well. And it goes into what you're talking about because the conversations we have because of this are amazing. And it starts like this, Greg. It's me sending a simple text. Let's say you are a past client,
Mhm.
and my questions say, "Hey, Greg, I've got a real estate question for you for a change. Let me know if you've got 5 minutes." The responses we typically get are, "Sure, call me," or "Hey, can you call me later?" Right? Those are mainly the two I get because these are people we know that know us, right?
Mhm.
And then once we jump into the call, here's what happens. We tell them, "Hey, I've got a real estate question for you, Greg. Listen, I'm calling all of our past clients and our just people we know, our sphere. And I got a question for you. What do you think about everything that's going on in the real estate world right now?" And then I just shut up. And then, Greg, you're going to tell me because locally, I had
Great question.
the
That
one that
is
was
such a great question.
dude, because it leads into everything we want in the
Yeah.
future of this conversation. So now, Greg, I've got you, and you're like, I'm making you feel important. Number one, psychologically, I care about you, right? You're important. I'm going to listen, and you're going to say, "Well, Tristan, do you mean locally or nationally?" Right? That's the one question I get sometimes. And then I say, "Well, both." And then they tell me, and then I listen, and then as I'm going back and forth with them, the natural question, which I think is where being able to offer equity and refis is important. They ask, "Well, Tristan, what do you think?" And then, dude, that's the whole reason I'm making this damn call,
Yeah.
right? And now I can tell them and they'll listen because I listened to them and I set it up the way I want to set it up to go back and forth. Now I tell them, and then we go back and forth. And then here's what naturally happens. Tristan, we've got this other property. Tristan, my sister, Tristan, my mom, right? Do you think we should refi, Tristan? What's that? That's what happens
Right.
every single time. So that's what I was thinking when you were saying, "Hey, you could really do this." And now for us, it adds another layer of what to do. So
It kind of takes out of being just that real estate hat and now that total financial services hat, where now it's not just about the real estate, it's about what's going on in your world. Is there stuff you need the money for? I mean, the overall household financial person, which is great. As you know, it just builds trust and it deepens the relationship. At the end of the day, it's because we care, right? I mean, it's great we're making money on things, but if we can actually help the customer or the consumer be in a better place, that's what this whole gig
yeah.
is about.
I interviewed on Friday, I interviewed Tom Rath. He wrote Strength Finders 2.0.
Mhm.
That's a very popular book in our world. And he mentioned that how he starts his day, his week, and in the right question he asks is, "Who can I help today?" And I think if you start with that mindset, the way we approach what you're telling us is an opportunity for us changes because now we're looking to help people. And now we have another arm to be able to do that with that I didn't have before, man. Now I'm thinking I calculated mentally the last time we did this, and I was like, dude, that's a lot. Those are a lot of opportunities.
A lot of customers. And
Yeah.
you sum it up so well because we're just people talking to people, trying to help people, right? And get them moving in the right direction, which gives them better life, especially in this environment. Like when you look at, the reality is interest rates are up right now, but they're going to come down again. And there's going to be a big opportunity. If you're not in a position to refinance now, that's when you're looking at home equity lines or home equity loans. But when rates do drop, everybody's going to refinance this time around. And the question just really becomes who they call. And generally, they're going to call one of two people. They're going to call the mortgage person you originally referred them to, or they're going to call their loan servicer, the people they're making their payments to every month. And that's 85% of the time. Who
That's
they're
true.
not always going to call. They're not always going to call the real estate agent. And it
No.
never fundamentally sat good with me because it's your client. You initiated the transaction from the beginning. And this really provides an opportunity for the real estate agent to help their consumer. And then also at the same time, can I get compensated for it compliantly as well?
That's interesting that you say the servicing piece, because I remember, now I'm looking for it. I remember when Rocket purchased or made the announcement that they were going to purchase. I'm looking for it now.
Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, Mr. Cooper and Redfin,
Mhm.
right? And one of the things, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I think I did. Perfect. I found the presentation that they did to their investors. And this is important for us as real estate agents because here it is. Oh, no, wrong one. That's where I got it from. Let me go to this. This will really set the tone for us on what we should be doing. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Integrated, this is Rocket, an integrated end-to-end ecosystem, right? They've got the real estate brokerage, Redfin, they've got the home financing, title and closing, loan servicing, home search, and rental. Where does that leave us in the picture? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't at all. So when you're looking at your opportunity to be able to be, like Greg said, that concierge, to not only be there to give them the opportunity to buy and sell, right, which is great, also service providers, right, because the homes stuff happens to the home. But on top of that, the ability to be able to pull out money or lower their payments or do something with this extra funds that they could possibly have, whether it's put their kids through school, buy another investment property, just lower their payments. Like that adds a lot. And you beat out these big companies that are trying to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, that one slide it sums everything up. I mean, the reality, and we all know this, this is a big data world that we live in.
Yes.
And they're fighting for our data.
And, dude,
right?
Hold on. That actually, there's another piece to this because that's exactly what we need to be careful for. Look at this. This is the data they're fighting for. They're going to turn on AI and they're going to say, well, let's own this. The home buying journey, which includes servicing. And the moment you can stay in front of them now with offering them more, forget about the amount of money you make just with that refi or equity pullout. It's you help them. And that means you're going to be there for a lot of the other things that are happening. That's a missing piece for me mentally, man. That's why I had it visually when you said that.
Yeah, it's so true. And it really is this fight for big data, and they're trying to take it from us. And we see words like ecosystem. You know, I look at it and say, how do we, one, create and maintain and capitalize and control our ecosystem? That's where AI can really be helpful. I know we have a mutual friend in Kyle Ranieri who handles AI. Kyle. And, you know, all right, so we can drive business. Well, now you have to know what to say. I mean, you bring up that script, Tristan, like that's the gold that people need to move it in the right direction. And now once you've done that, you've acquired the customer, we never want to lose them. Yeah. So if we can replicate, which we have, what Rocket has done, where, okay, now you have the real estate, now you have the mortgage piece. Oh, you're looking to refinance. Oh, you're looking for a home equity line. Now we can handle that as well. And that's exactly what Rocket's doing with Mr. Cooper and with Redfin. The difference is we're doing it for us, not this multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that's going to try to take it from us.
Also, we continue to put the human piece in the middle because you notice that slide said AI fueled home ownership, right? Yep. And I think the key is us, you and I, to this piece. Side question, Greg, along the same things. When you're doing either refinances or equity pullout, what are the number one reasons people are doing it? Do you know what they're doing?
Well, in this market, it's a little hard from an interest rate standpoint. It's not going to frequently reduce their interest rates if rates have spiked up. Most people are looking to do things to consolidate debt, to do additions to their properties because they're staying now. Hey, I don't want to give up this 2% interest rate. I'm just going to add to my property. But where do I get the money from? And so some of the cool things that we have as an example is we do what's called a construction home equity line, meaning
Hmm,
we'll lend in second position as a home equity line. We'll lend based on the after improved value of the property,
that's cool.
right? Because you kind of run into this at times where people say, well, I have equity, but I don't have enough equity to do what I'm looking to do because the value of my property is currently $1 million. Well, after
Hmm,
I do the work, it's 1.5 million. If you can lend on that 1.5 million, well, now you have plenty of money to borrow.
that's cool. Okay, question on that one for
Yeah.
California specifically. When we're looking at ADUs,
Mhm.
do you lend on that future value of the ADU as well, that
We
rental income?
just closed one in Tahoe today.
Okay, run me through that because that for me would be a great email for my database in California.
Mhm. So if someone's looking to add the ADO to the property,
Hmm.
what we'll do, they got one of two options. We can do a full construction loan, in which case now we have to refinance that mortgage that they have, Tristan, and then lend the difference to build the ADU. Or if they got this really low interest rate on the first mortgage, we can get an appraisal done based on what the value will be after the ADU is built, and
Okay.
that's what we lend on. The
Oh,
cool thing about California, Tristan, is they exist, so they're easy to comp those properties out.
yes. So easy. I love that, dude. That's
It,
a really good one.
it literally, we just closed one today that was that exact situation in California.
Okay, I'm gonna let the team know again on that one. All right, so as we're in the middle, and I don't know that our market's gonna change anytime soon. I think we're gonna stay where we're at overall. And we're in the summer too, so I don't know what happens in the winter. But let's just assume where we're at. Mortgage rates remain where they're at, and the markets remain where they're at, slightly shifting to more of a buyer's market nationally.
Mhm.
Days on market slightly increased, right? Nothing dramatic. What do you think is the opportunity we have in reaching out to our databases with the different products that you have that we can then help them with?
Gosh, I mean, I think at any time it's probably a good idea to start reaching out to the database, whether or not they're looking to sell and then purchase another property or they're looking to tap into some of the equity of the home. When you start to shift a little bit into a buyer's market,
Mhm,
well, I mean, that's going to give us more flexibility to help those buyers through some of the unique product offerings we have to get into those deals. And kind of further expand on that is, okay, well, if I'm a seller right now
mhm,
and I don't have the cash to go buy another house,
mhm.
but I want to buy something before I list my house, and you hear that one all the
All
time.
the time, yeah.
It's okay. So what do you do? Well, you got a couple of options. You do a home equity line to pull money out of your existing house. You do a bridge loan to pull money out of your existing house to put down on the new house, or you can cross collateralize properties. And then
Explain that last one to me.
give you a great example. So we just did. I'm in New Jersey,
Uh-huh,
and we just did one on the Jersey Shore.
okay,
The individual lady, great lady, her husband had recently passed away. She wanted to get out of this $3 million house that she has and then buy a $2 million property.
okay,
So she had no mortgage on the property. She had no mortgage on the $3 million house, but she didn't qualify to keep that home that she's in and purchase a new home for $2 million. She didn't
okay,
qualify from a debt to income ratio standpoint. And gosh, Tristan, her debt to income ratio was like 90%. So she wasn't going to qualify anywhere.
got
So
it.
we looked at it, and I went through it with our committee and said, "Well, guys, listen. She wants to sell this house to get into her end home. So when we acquire both properties, she has $5 million worth of real estate. She only needs $2 million. Let's cross collateralize the properties. Who cares what her debt to income ratio is? Because we know she's selling the $3 million house, going to pay our loan off anyway." We ended up doing that transaction. And the really cool thing about it is obviously it was great for the customer because she was never going to buy this house. She was never going to list her house for sale before she bought the new house. She was
Got it.
uncomfortable with it.
That makes sense. People will never do that in some cases.
Yeah, she didn't want to do it. And it was great for the customer. She was thrilled, but it's also great for the agent. So now the
That's
agent,
probably the best thing, man, because we just made a client for life.
Well, yeah, and you look at the overall thing. So now this agent has a $3 million listing they're selling, plus they did the $2 million purchase. They did
Yeah.
$5 million in real
Yeah.
estate in one
Yeah.
deal.
That's nice.
So we do some super cool things right in our portfolio, try to help people.
So tell me how we can sign up for this to become an opportunity maker.
Yeah, so what I would say is there's a QR code right on the screen. I would click right on that QR code and then
Okay.
just register. When you do that, we'll get notified. We'll reach out to you, review what the program looks like, just a real high level review. What we've really been able to do at the Federal Savings Bank is reduce the barrier to entry for you into the
Got it.
mortgage side. So you could go take a 20-hour course and pass a state test and get licensed in mortgages. With a federally chartered bank, which is what we are, that's not required. So we can hire you, put you through a 3-hour training, and then you
Mhm.
have your mortgage license. And we partner you with what we call a senior banker
Mhm.
who's going to really help from the overall mortgage standpoint. That's why you have someone a clean path to refer somebody to. So we've worked with the OCC who runs banking now for a couple of years on this program. And we get audited twice a year as a bank.
Mm.
And they audited this program. We've literally had zero findings because we've made sure that the compliance end of it is locked down from the bank standpoint and from your standpoint to make sure we're doing things in a compliant fashion, which is really what makes everything scalable and puts you in a good position with your customer.
I love that. And then I just scanned it. So it's the DEB program, the dual
Called
employment
dual employed banker.
banker. Yeah. Dual employed banker. And that's pretty, oh, dude, that's a super easy fill out. And then we just submit it. Got it.
Right? It kind of coming back to the beginning, you look at advertising budget. So the example I had given is, well, what do you do with $10,000 in your advertising budget? Well, you can buy leads and you can convert 5 deals out of those 100 leads that you buy. It just becomes, how do you fund that, right? You either pull it out of pocket, or can you leverage the mortgage side of your real estate business to fund that for you? And that's really the goal. How do you sell more real estate through leveraging the mortgage opportunity? I mean, they're giving this business away anyway. Might as well be compensated on it and ensuring the fact that you have control over everything now.
Yeah, actually it makes it a lot better. It feels like it's in-house. It feels like you remain as part of the transaction to help. Greg, I like this, man. Thanks for doing this with us.
Of course.
And then everyone here, at least scan it, take a look at this. It's in almost every state.
It's in every state.
Every state.
So when you get licensed under the federal bank charter, you're licensed in all 50 states. You can originate a mortgage anywhere. So you got someone you're in New York, you're moving to Florida, no problem. I'll refer it, get my 25%. Let me introduce you to Greg. He's going to help you on the mortgage side.
Question from the audience. Do you need a real estate license to do this?
That's a good question. This dual employed banker program is geared specifically for real estate agents. However, there could be another opportunity for somebody who's not a real estate agent.
Got it. Okay.
And
Perfect.
one other thing I would mention, Tristan, is now's the perfect time. This industry is hard right now. And being able to replicate what Rocket Mortgage has done with creating that ecosystem, you can do the same thing and you can control it from every end: real estate, mortgage, refinance, home equity. So that's an important part about it. But as you get acclimated, there's no real high degree of refinance business right now.
Yeah.
So when you look at our overall real estate market currently, from a mortgage standpoint, the market's at 2.2 trillion. If you go back to 2021, it was a $4.4 trillion market. 2.7 trillion was in refinancing. My point, when we go into a recession, the Fed's going to do what they always do. They're going to reduce interest rates. And folks are going to refinance, and you could be positioned to capitalize on it.
I love that, man. All right, everybody, take a look at this. Thanks for being on, Greg. I love doing this with you. I always learn something new. So
I appreciate it, Tristan. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have an awesome day. Great week, too.